Good morning. Good morning. Let me get this all set up on the back end. Yeah, Nick Jones, we're certainly going to be talking about that. So don't you worry. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff to talk about here. All right, we're almost there on the setup. Miguel, Samuel, Zeke. Guys, make sure you're getting here early. Drop that like in the stream. Halls Balls, good to see you, man. RPM, Roger. All right, let's see. We got the short stream up, the vertical stream. If I can just get the X chat going, we should be good. What's interesting to me is how little the price moved. When this news came out, and some people might look at that as a bad thing, but for me, that really confirms the range we're in, which I actually find to be a pretty good thing. I'll talk about that here in a second. Thank you, Ian. Smash the like button. Yep, absolutely. We're just getting this thing started. All right, here we go. The most obvious thing we have to talk about here. Is this picture right here. Guys, I'm not sure it gets more bullish than this considering where we've been. Rocky Mountain Jack, good to see you. Liam Fitzpatrick, Defin. Jobless claims in 8 minutes. Let me get ready to receive that information here, Defin. What a 24-hour news cycle. You know who's it was a tough 24-hour news cycle for Noti. One of the biggest things Noti was telling me was one that Ripple and XRP were like anti-Trump because of the Kamala Harris donation. The other thing he was telling me was Chainlink was going to kill Ripple and XRP. And here we have Brad Garlinghouse, Stuart Alderati with Trump, as well as we have Chainlink teaming up with Ripple. So just interesting to see how all that is played out. Seems like to me maybe he jumped the gun a little bit on some of those assumptions. Sorry guys, just pulling up CNBC real quick so that we can get those jobless claims when they come in. The market is opening a little red right now, so it'd be great if we could get some catalyst to actually help out the market. Now, the funny thing is I don't even know anymore what would be good for the market. Would it be a good jobs report? Would it be a bad jobs report? Like good jobs report indicates higher rates for longer. Bad jobs report indicates the economy slowing. So it's kind of a interesting situation. The market kind of just does whatever it wants. XP Market, good to see you. Check out what's going on over there. XP Market, I really, really like the new reward notification. That's great. Nice logging on here and seeing the reward notification in place. Very nice to see that. Take a look at the top token rankings. Sologenic, Army, Phoenix, Corium, BTC, XPM. You can take a look at how much RLUSD is on the XRP ledger, of course, right now. Actually moving close to 10 million. Very cool. Would love XP Market would love to be able to toggle between the price of RLUSD and the market cap chart. Would love to see that market cap growing. And also if we had the full market cap of RLUSD with Ethereum included. That'd be great, because generally when I see this, the first thing I want to know is, all right, this is what's on the XRP ledger. Now what's on Ethereum, and where can we compare those? 10 million on the XRP ledger. I think we have another like 60 million on Ethereum. See what else we got. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to ask you, XP Market. I was curious on the AMM trends if the XRP pooled stat has changed to be more in line with TVL. So TVL right now is about 44 million on the XRP ledger. I think this number is going to be billions. And XRP pooled is about 12 million XRP. Rocky Mountain Jack said, I saw somewhere 160K in retail layoffs in 2024. Isaac Gotti says, the SLT community on First Ledger loves your channel. Well, I love the SLT community and I appreciate that donation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because of that, we can take a look at coin rankings and take a look at SLT. There we go, SLT. Obviously, that chart is looking very good. So congrats to the SLT community. The SLT community coming in full force. Sir O's SLT salute you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. I'm curious what the top NFT rankings are either. I haven't checked out that much. Okay, interesting. The Bear Collection, Magnetic Top Node, Bored Apes, 2 XPM collections, Anti-Social Media Group, X Shrooms. Huh. Ripple Rocks. That's funny. Well, you knew it'd be a thing eventually. Ripple rocks. There you go. Frankie says, I hodl SLT. Cool, cool, cool. And guys, I always say, like, literally in my taskbar, I always have XP market pinned. I have XRP scan pinned. Those are kind of my two ways that I go and say, all right, what's going on with the XRP ledger? 180 validators, 880 nodes. Crazy progress there. And then take a quick look at the rich list. 62 billion XRP in circulating supply, 37 billion XRP still in escrow. So we're getting there, guys. Man, I remember when we broke 50%. When we broke 50%, it seemed like a big deal, and now we're all the way down. There was 904 nodes yesterday. Yeah, I think some of the interesting. I would love to know the volatility in those nodes. Oh, man. Oh, sorry, Deefin. I missed it. Let me see if they're still talking about it.
At the CME in Chicago. And Rick, the numbers, please.
Yes, and these numbers are low on initial jobless claims, 201,000. 201,000. This is about 15,000 less than expected. Currently, it's 10,000 less than our last look at 211,000, unless there's a late coming revision. But it does underscore that the New Year's Day holiday may have had an effect. Now, if we look at continuing claims, it is now the 31st consecutive week above 1.8 million, 1,867,000. In the rearview mirror, 1,834,000. And this is also most likely affected by some holiday issues. So they might be something to wait to get a better GPS. But when you take a step back, they're still on the low side. Consider we haven't been over 250,000 on initial claims since the first week in October, of course, of last year. And you're right, we've traded a bit above 470 in a 10-year, and we're getting very close to 5% in a 30-year. 22 billion of those 30 years, by the way, Becky, will be auctioned off on a reopening at 1 Eastern. We want to pay attention. You know, yesterday with interest rates rising, that was not viewed as a concession on the 10-year. It didn't make the demand spur higher because investors thought, wow, this is a blow off top. Rates are going to come down. It's exactly the opposite. There's a lasting effect here. And what's most notable is in term premium and yield curves. Right now, we're trading over 42 basis points on the 2s to 10s. I've been talking about this spread for a year. Every trader in the government sector I know has been looking for a steepening curve, adding term premium expanding. These are trades you want to pay attention to on the long end as the rates continue to firm. You could make a case ADP was less than expected, but we've kind of been there, done that. You could make a case that job openings were really aggressive, but quits might have moderated that. But in the end, watch the way the market reacts to these data points. 201,000. I'm not seeing rates move down that aggressively. Market's pretty smart at this point. Becky, back to you.
Explain that to me a little more, Rick. I'm thinking through what you said. We were above 4.7%. We got these numbers, the earlier numbers that took it up. ADP took it up to, I don't know, I think it was 472 or something. Now we're back just above 470. We watch these moves very closely because they're telling us what? Traders are thinking what?
Well, I think, you know, look at a 2-year right now. A 2-year settled yesterday's cash market of 429. We're at 427. Okay, not a big deal. It's down 2 basis points. But as we sit right now at 470 in a 10-year, you're up a basis point. Doesn't sound like a big deal. But that relationship continues to be pointing the yield curve and investors in the same direction. That the steepening curve implies that we're going to continue to see pressure on long rates. And even though the Fed might be talking about data or talking about being cautious or talking about if the year develops as they think this may happen, they're doing the same thing investors are doing. They're looking at the long end, scratching their heads, and even in an easing mode, the market's going to take care of business by letting long rates breathe like a fine wine. And unless the Fed does quantitative easing with a balance sheet still very large, they probably won't. I think this dynamic's going to last until we get a better handle on how the incoming administration policy is going to affect markets.
So, Rick, if you had your choice, Greenland, Panama, or Canada?
In terms of where to live?
Or all the above?
I don't know. I'll tell you, personally, I think I'd rather go for Mexico as a new addition before any of the others, personally. But that's just.
Do you have to say that? You're going to get. That's going to be next. That's all we. That's really.
That's funny. Apparently, Crypto Clay already has his Greenland. Well, Iceland, right? Iceland flag on the way. Oh, Greenland. Take a look at this. Right now, XRP just consolidating. It's funny, a lot of people were saying, oh, no one expected that dump yesterday. No one expected the market to get rejected. I think that's exactly what we were watching. I didn't have too much confidence we were going to break out early there. We'll see how the market reacts. I still think it's very possible XRP comes back down to some of these lower levels. Tops around a bit before making that next move up. I'm thinking that's the most likely scenario here, but we'll see. We could hold a little bit higher. Yeah, a lot of people are pointing this out. So on this picture of Trump and Brad Garlinghouse, obviously we have the green candle in the background, as well as this very interesting post, or this picture in the background. It looks like a lot like the bearable guy riddles. Now, with that said, this is just a popular place Trump takes pictures, right? There's other people who I've seen this picture with the same exact setup in the background, so. Roger, that's so funny. Purple tie too. Ed, good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well, Ed. I mean, to me, this really indicates that, you know, we're all set moving forward in terms of the United States' attack on cryptocurrency. So to me, that this pretty much wraps up the fact that, like, we're all good moving forward. And I think that's huge. Because look, you know, there's almost zero. I think there's almost zero chance that this case is now not confirmed to be over very soon. And also that I think there's a very good chance there could be an XRP United States Crypto Reserve. I just think the way Brad was talking about that on the interview, the way they have been meeting with Trump, it just seems to me like there's going to be that XRP reserve. That would be funny if one of them did have a card up their sleeve. That would be kind of the boom. But Crypto Clay says just wait until the photograph is in the Oval Office. Absolutely. Anyway, though, I mean, what is like, we never would have gotten this picture with the last administration. So things are changing very quickly. And what's the date? 12 days into the 20th. The 20th will be, I think the 20th will be interesting. And the XRP price chart is telling us the 20th in some way. Take a look at this. I mean, I wasn't even looking at any dates before when I was drawing this. I was kind of just drawing a random consolidation region, but 20th is right here. Just so happens to be the exact end of this trend. So we'll see if XRP gets a bit excited before that and starts to pump out of here. Yeah, Crypto Clay, because he was meeting with Ripple before he left. I need a guest appearance on GMC. Yeah, I was supposed to plan that out with Abs. My week has just been crazy. We'll get it going soon. We will certainly get that going soon. Did they ever get Gary Cardone on the space? Did Gary Cardone ever go on GMC? I never saw any clips of it. And it is nice to see that Trump is like doubling down on being pro crypto. Very nice to see him doubling down on being pro crypto. See what else we have in the news here. Oh, take a look at this. RLUSD stablecoin to list on more exchanges immediately. Also expects an XRP spot ETF approval very soon. Okay. All sounds good to me. See what else we got here. Coinbase is slapping the SEC in court. Something pretty interesting there. Coinbase is essentially just absolutely decimating the SEC. So that's good to see. Just keep checking real quick. Doesn't look like there's too much else news as of now. So we will go back to the XRP price chart. Take a look at the chat. So those ascending X's is money flowing into XRP, which country? Those are just exchange volume buys for XRP. So that's just XRP being purchased. Is XRP ready to move back up? It's got to finish consolidating, but it looks like we're making progress on that. Oh yeah, John. John, congratulations. Congrats. Doge thoughts? Well, I'm a fan of Doge, but you know, I wouldn't really put Doge in the same category as XRP. I think Doge is going to do well just because Elon Musk seems to like it a lot, but you know, there's nothing actually about Doge that gets me overly excited other than that. I just think if you constantly have Elon Musk talking about it, it's probably going to do pretty well. Looks like the market is still slated to open a little red today. We'll see what happens when we actually pop this thing open. Dennis, thank you so much. Coinbase decision could flip Ripple ODL decision by Torres if Ripple pressed appeal. Yeah, I think what's likely going to happen, Dennis, and I really appreciate that donation. I think what likely is going to happen is Ripple's just going to settle with the SEC and get the clarity they need. So I think a settlement is likely how this is going to pan out. I know a lot of people are talking about dismissal. I'm still a little bit more on the settlement train. But you're right. They very well, Coinbase could help Ripple. But, you know, I just don't know how concerned Ripple is. Like, here's the thing. The Ripple SEC case only really matters that much if the SEC is not going to tell Ripple how to run their business properly. But if the SEC is willing to tell Ripple how to run their business, then they're good. They don't even need the case anymore. And I did think it was interesting with Brad Garlinghouse saying that the case was a massive validation for Ripple's business. Take a look at XRP to BTC. Yes, Coinbase getting that interlocutory appeal was definitely a big deal. I mean, pretty much just saying, look, this case is insane. There's no rules. And the judge was like, yeah, like there are no rules. What are we doing here? Looks like XRP to BTC is still consolidating as well. I was hopeful that the breakout was this, but it looks like we got a little bit more room in this thing. And to me, this just looks like it's also aligning with the XRP chart. XRP is consolidating not only against the US dollar, but consolidating against Bitcoin as well. You know, Taylor, I haven't looked that much into that Coinbase interlocutory appeal. If you have any interesting insight on that, would love to hear it. I just know it's extremely rare for a company to be able to get that. So it really proves that Coinbase is definitely in the right. XP market says DXY. Take a look at the DXY. Last time I checked, the DXY was ripping. Yep, there it is. Dollar is extremely strong right now. Breaking back out almost to the highs that we've seen. Kind of got to go to a monthly chart to really get all the data. We'll see. The dollar's a wild card right now. For a while, it looked like the dollar was going to be dropping significantly, but now because of Trump's policy with a lot of the tariffs, you know, we could have a strengthening dollar for a bit here, depending on how all the economic situations weigh in. It's really hard for me to factor in the dollar with all the policy stuff coming in on the macro side. For a while, seemed like such an easy equation, right? The dollar is being devalued rapidly by the previous administration, and there wasn't a lot of foreign trade deals and or tariffs going on that would impact that. But now with all this other stuff coming into the equation, it's really hard to see what would happen. 2016, the last time Trump came in, the dollar, I mean, the last time Trump was in office, the dollar pretty much didn't do much. It was essentially this time period right here. So I don't know. We'll see what happens this time. Still seems to me like the dollar's trend would be downwards. It's just really hard to analyze with so many different stuff coming in on the macro, on the policy standpoint. And to be honest, I don't think it matters nearly as much as cryptocurrency regulations. XRP, the 1% that knows. Trump had dinner with Brad yesterday. Bank of America has 86 patents on the XRP ledger. Yeah, I'm curious if that guy was like, there was a analyst that went on Fox News who was essentially saying like, I mean, for lack of a better thing, go buy XRP. With that said, though, I kind of don't know if he was just
as an
saying,
advertising platform.
Whoops. I just don't know if he was just saying, oh, yeah, these patents exist, and he's just going off of incorrect information, or he actually knows something, or he actually knows a bit more there. So I am pretty curious about that. Just checking on something real quick. I'd like to make some money, but can't if the price doesn't go up. Well, you know, gotta have some patience. These things do not happen overnight. You absolutely have to have some patience. Would Taylor say? If that case makes it to, yeah, if any cases make it, I don't think any cases are making it to the Supreme Court now. No way. I think everything will be over way before it makes it to the Supreme Court. What site is the what site are you talking about? The sites we've gone over on the so far, XP Market. This is the best way to monitor things going on the XRP ledger. And then I have Fiat Leak in the bottom. Those are the two sites we've mostly covered. Take a look at DApp rankings real quick. First Ledger, Magnetic, XP Market, XRP Cafe. The Bear Bull Scalper. Huh. I'm not sure what that is. That's why these are cool. Like, that's why I love kind of this tool, because then I can be like, all right, what is the Bear Bull Scalper? Okay, so it's a bot. Okay, so it's a bot created by the Bear Bull meme coins. Interesting. Yeah, Scott, that's generally the impression I got. I didn't think the guy on Fox News was really any more educated than any of us here, and therefore I think he probably just saw some old Bank of America partnerships and was like, boom, Bank of America is using XRP. So I didn't think he really knew that much. Rock Thrizzler. No, I see your comments. I probably just missed him at the time. There's a lot of comments coming up on the screen right now, constantly coming through. So apologize for that. It's just hard to get to all of them. Can we get your opinion on Haktua and how that made people doubt crypto? I mean, like, anyone who is investing into Haktua thinking like Haktua is going to be anything important probably doesn't really understand crypto. So I don't think it really matters that much about like the Haktua stuff. If anything, it just gets more people's eyes on crypto, and then hopefully they actually learn what crypto is rather than just gambling on a meme token. Please explain my chart. I can do that. It's really not. It's a pretty simple chart. What XRP does is XRP typically consolidates before its big move. What consolidate means is the price kind of gets squeezed. So you can see right here pretty clearly that the highs are getting lower. So the chart is kind of getting pushed downwards by this top resistance line. We also see that there's also a support line underneath. So we kind of have the lows getting higher. So typically what happens with XRP is this price just gets squeezed, or it gets less and less volatile. So continues to kind of bounce in here, chop, but then eventually the price has to make a decision. Now the price can go and break out to the upside and can break down to the downside. We just think because of a lot of the bullish catalysts coming in, that would cause this breakout to be to the upside. So very simple explanation of the chart. What we often see in XRP is as the price kind of does get squeezed, we typically get a big move of volatility to one side or the other. Of course, yeah, no problem. What's the best coin to invest in? You got to make that decision on your own. We only talk about one coin here, really. We'll talk about others, but no, I'm mainly focused on XRP. There's certainly other interesting things out there, and a lot of people bring them up. It's just that a lot of them are much, much earlier to what they're trying to achieve. And for me, it's just like XRP is so much further down the road. Like XRP ETFs, partnerships with large institutions, Ripple IPOs, like all of this stuff, no other cryptocurrency is really close to, and puts XRP a bit, in my opinion, in a league of its own when it comes down to the actual adoption. First ledger meme. Blair said, Taylor says, funny how both cult communities, XRP and Link, with the dinosaur tech are really winning under the surface. Yeah, Link does have a cult community. I remember the Link Marines. And there used to be a lot of shit around Chainlink as well. Chainlink was also pretty heavily fudded. So it's interesting that both of those communities seem to be winning so much on a consistent basis, all built around that utility. Dinosaur tech is such a funny insult too, because like the XRP ledger, if you actually understand it, has one of the best setups and some of the best tech out there. So it's so funny that people call it dinosaur tech. I mean, the XRP ledger is like the only chain with an integrated DEX and AMM. It's just what people say because they, it's like something to throw around. It's like, oh, well, it's old, right? Like that's the thing that people need to understand. Like just because something's older doesn't mean this new tech is better. It just means someone tried to make something better. But what the market is telling you is that the XRP ledger, despite being older, continues to have some of the most substance behind it. I can't wait for the day the first XRP ETF goes live. The XRP ledger not having smart contracts is one of the funniest arguments ever, because the XRP ledger still has programmability. It just doesn't have programmability for everyone to necessarily experiment with, because all those feature sets are built natively. So I honestly prefer how the XRP ledger is structured. Native feature sets built directly into the ledger. And let me tell you guys, for those of you who aren't aware, why that's such a big deal. How the XRP ledger is different than a lot of other chains is, a lot of other chains, essentially, you have smart contracts, right? So anyone can build whatever they want. But because of that, I can build a DEX and then someone else can build a DEX. And if that was to happen, then you have two DEXs and then people need to choose what DEX they want. And ultimately that liquidity is then broken out between those different DEXs. On the XRP ledger, no one can come in and build really their own DEX, because the XRP ledger just has the DEX. And because of that, all the liquidity in the entire ecosystem is routed through that same DEX. So the XRP ledger feature set, rather than being built on a smart contract that could have vulnerabilities, is built directly into the ledger, making the XRP ledger DEX just as decentralized as the rest of the XRP ledger. So really, native feature sets on the XRP ledger are significantly more robust in their decentralization, and being integrated into the core protocol allows them to much better interoperate with the entire ecosystem than with something where you have to go to all these layer 2 or smart contract applications. Gambling with my generational wealth is not worth it. I tend to agree. I'll sell 10 to 20%. That's it. Yeah, and and don't let anyone tell you, right, that you can't take profit either. I know a lot of people are very excited to realize some profit and be able to improve their own life. One of the things I just constantly tell people is just make sure you have a plan, right? Have a plan for some of those profits. If you're just taking profit and just sitting on cash, you're probably going to end up in a position where you start to feel FOMO, because you're going to be like, oh, well, I took all these profits, but I don't really know what to do with it. So if you have if instead you're in a position where you know exactly where that capital is going to be used, you can be in a much better position to say, oh, well, I took profits and XRP still going up, but I was able to do X, I was able to do Y, I was able to do Z. And that makes it a lot easier to sit back and be like, oh, okay, I'm still happy with my decision. But if you're just sitting on a bunch of cash and that cash is being devalued, then you're going to sit there and be like, oh, I wish I never sold the XRP. So make sure you always have a plan in place. It's something you're thinking about, and you have good uses for when that cash does come in for what it's going to be deployed to. I always tell people, taking profits just to take profits and sit in cash, it's nice to have cash, but we all know what happens to cash over the long run. We all know what happens to these assets over the long run. Typically, assets increase and cash gets devalued. So if you plan on holding a bunch of cash, just make sure there's a reason for that. Who is Mr. Pool? Mr. Pool is just an old Riddler account, right? No, I don't think Ripple will become a bank. I don't think Ripple really has any desire to become a bank. Banking regulations are extremely high and burdensome. I don't think it makes sense for Ripple to be a bank. I think what Ripple will likely become is like a new kind of entity, maybe a crypto custodian entity. But we need to realize that take for example Apple, right? Apple has a lot of okay, let me put it this way. I think Ripple will be a bank of a sort, but I don't think it will necessarily be considered a bank, right? A lot of these cryptocurrency companies really don't want to be subjected to all the different regulations associated with some of these industries. So we'll see what Ripple does. I don't think Ripple becomes a bank. I think Ripple will definitely have features in their company where those features or those entities or those spin-offs are considered banks, but I don't think Ripple will be considered like Ripple as a bank. Ripple will be the world's central bank. I think Ripple will be, I think actually XRP will be more of that, and Ripple will just be the company that facilitates it. Like I always try to say this, and like for the people who are worried about Ripple leaving XRP, like XRP like is vastly more important than Ripple. Vastly more important than Ripple. So I just think it's so funny for the people who think, oh, Ripple's going to leave XRP or something like that. It's like, I don't think you understand. Like, the most important thing to Ripple is XRP. Like, I don't think Ripple really is anything without XRP. So Ripple definitely does have inherent value, and Ripple's doing some very cool things, blah, 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 outside of XRP. But XRP really is the holy grail to everything Ripple does. And it's always important to realize that because you constantly see FUD like, oh, what happens if Ripple does this? What happens if Ripple does that? A lot of those scenarios are just so unrealistic. I often find myself in conversations where I'm just like, guys, like, understand what's going on here. Like, XRP is the most important part of this entire equation. Ripple will never drop the most important part of what they're doing. So Monica Long is definitely making waves saying that she believes that the XRP ETF will come before the Solana ETF. It would be incredible if it did. Trust me. That would be incredible. Un momento. I can't believe Selkis wasn't having a heart attack on X last night. I thought we'd see a lot of Selkis freaking out. With that picture of Trump and Brad Garlinghouse coming out. I was really hoping we'd see some crazy stuff from Selkis. There's nothing I would have liked to see more than a little Selkis meltdown. Did he post, Taylor? I checked last. I literally. So he has me blocked, so I wouldn't see it. To bit. Oh yeah, here he goes. See what Ryan Selkis had to say. Ripple, Coinbase, and A16Z essentially run crypto's political effort in 2025. What a crazy. All right, here's Ryan Selkis. This is the best case scenario, even though I think XRP is a meme token that will underperform, if not crash, at least Stuart Alderati is excellent. What a moron. It's so funny that he can be so dumb. He thinks everyone on the Ripple team is excellent. He thinks Brian Garlinghouse is excellent. He thinks Stuart Alderati is excellent, but he thinks XRP is a meme token and will crash. And this is a dude who pumps all kinds of crap tokens. Dude is down bad. He'll figure it out, man. He didn't get any early VC coins. He's still mad that Brad Garlinghouse wouldn't give him a sweetheart deal and some XRP. And I think this is his way of lashing out. He's like, oh, well, if you didn't tell me about XRP, then I'm not going to support your project. I'm going to do this, this, and this. It could be something else. It just seems to me very strange behavior from Mr. Selkis. But look, if this is the hill he wants to die on, he can die on this hill. I just don't really understand it. He seems like a generally smart guy. Seems like a big waste of time, energy, and reputation to be constantly anti-Ripple. There's a ton of things in crypto I can see people being skeptical about and being like, okay, well, I don't know about this, this, and this. Ripple's a weird one. Ripple's a weird one. I'm not quite sure why he's choosing to die on this hill, but clearly he does have something wrong with the company that he can't seem to articulate or really put into words. The biggest thing he always says is that he doesn't understand why XRP is useful, but I kind of hope he's smarter than that, or else he's just really maybe not as smart as he thinks he is. If he really can't figure out why XRP is useful in the entire equation, for me, it's a bit like, all right, well, you know, maybe that's really a you problem. Because I think a lot of people don't have any trouble seeing why XRP is important in the equation. So if Ryan Selkis is really having that much of a hard time wrapping his head around it, he might be indicting himself a little bit there. He thinks XRP is no more than a token used to enrich Ripple. Yeah, because Ripple didn't sell it to the VCs early on, and he didn't get a chance to get in the ICO. So that's why he's pissed. He's like, oh, Ripple didn't share these profits with me. Ripple didn't give me XRP at a low price so I could dump the token. It's crazy. All right, guys, with that said, I got to jump. Guys, thank you so much for coming. I hope everyone has a great day. If anything else happens later today, you know I will be reporting on it. Guys, thank you so much.